You stand up off the couch. You know exactly what you're doing. You've got a clear, specific reason to get up. You walk down the hall. You push open the door. You step into the kitchen. And it's gone. Just gone. Whatever it was, the thing you came for, wiped clean. You stand there in the middle of the room, frozen, patting down your own mind for a thought that was right there 5 seconds ago. And the weird part? It doesn't feel like normal forgetting. It feels like a glitch, like the universe hit a button and skipped a frame. You've done this. Everyone has. You do it standing at the open fridge, no idea why you opened it. You do it halfway up the stairs. And we always explain it the same lazy way. I'm tired. I'm scattered. My memory's going bad. But here's the thing that should bother you. This isn't random. It doesn't strike at random times. It happens to everyone, the forgetful and the sharp, the young and the old. And it tends to hit at the exact same moment, over and over. The moment you walk through a doorway, which is a very strange thing for a gap in a wall to do to your brain. So what is actually going on in that doorway? In 2011, a psychologist named Gabriel Radvansky at the University of Notre Dame decided to catch this thing in a lab. He had people pick up objects, hold them, memorize what they were carrying, and move across a room, quizzing them along the way on what was in their hands. Here's the clever part. Sometimes a person walked across one large room to a table on the far side. Sometimes they walked the exact same distance, but that distance carried them through a doorway into a second room. Same number of steps, same objects, same task. The only difference was whether a door frame sat in the path. And the people who crossed through the doorway were 2 to 3 times more likely to forget what they were holding. 2 to 3 times. From a door. Now your first instinct is the obvious one. It's the new room, right? New furniture, new light, your eyes get distracted, and the thought slips out. Reasonable. So Radvansky's team tested exactly that. They ran a version where after walking through the doorway, people turned around and walked straight back, into the very first room, the one they'd already seen, back to the identical scenery they started in. If this were really about new surroundings, going home should fix it. It didn't. The forgetting stuck. So it wasn't the new room, it was the threshold, the crossing itself. And that's the detail that should make the hair on your neck stand up. Because a doorway is nothing. It can't reach into your skull and pluck out a thought. So if the door isn't doing it, something inside you is. The door is just the trigger, pulling on a process your brain is running every minute of every day, completely without your permission. And once you see what that process is, you can't unsee it. So think about your memory of today. It feels like one continuous strip, like film running through a projector. Morning sliding into afternoon, afternoon into evening. One smooth, unbroken you, start to finish. That feeling is a lie. Your brain does not store your life as a single stream. It chops it up into separate, bounded chunks that scientists call events. The drive to work, one event. Walking into the office, a new one. The chat by the coffee machine, another. Sitting down at your desk, another. You never chose a single one of those cuts. You can't even feel them being made. But underneath your awareness, every few seconds, your mind is quietly deciding, this piece of your life ends here. The next one starts now. And it isn't cutting at random. It cuts at very specific seams. The researcher Jeffrey Sachs showed that your brain is running a constant, silent prediction, second by second, guessing what's about to happen next. Reach for the cup, it'll be where you expect. Step forward, the floor will hold. As long as those tiny guesses keep coming true, your brain says, same event, keep it rolling. But the instant reality breaks the prediction. The scene swaps, a stranger walks in, you move into a new space, your brain throws up a flag. That guess failed. This event is over. Cut here, start fresh. And a doorway? A doorway is the cleanest prediction break there is. One step and your entire visual world is replaced. New room, new model. Snip. So now watch what that snip does to your missing thought. Back in the old room, you formed a plan. Go get the scissors. And your brain didn't store that plan floating free. It packed it inside the current event, the chunk labeled "in the living room." Then you crossed the threshold, and your brain did the one thing it is built to do at a boundary. It closed the living room chunk, filed it neatly away, and spun up a brand new, empty model for "in the kitchen." Your intention was never deleted. It got sealed in a box and shelved, one room behind you. That's exactly why it feels so close and so impossible at the same time. You can sense the shape of the box. You just can't get the lid off from where you're standing. And notice, the cure works for the very same reason. Walk back through that door and you crack the box open again. And once you sit with that, it changes what memory even is. You always assumed your memory was a recording, a faithful tape of everything that ever happened to you. It isn't. It's a stack of chunks. A shelf of sealed boxes, each one a little scene your brain decided to cut and close on its own without ever asking you. Everything you remember as one of these pieces. The doorway didn't break that system. The doorway just let you catch it in the act. Which all sounds like a pretty serious design flaw, doesn't it? Your own brain ambushing you over a door frame a dozen times a day, hiding your own plans from you. You'd think evolution would have patched something this annoying by now. Except the scientists kept pulling the thread, and what came loose turns the whole story inside out. Because this chopping, this endless slicing of your life into pieces is not the malfunction. It is the single reason you can remember anything at all. Picture your entire life recorded as one unbroken video. No chapters, no scene breaks, no markers. Just one seamless take, thousands of hours long. Now try to find the moment you met your best friend. You couldn't. You'd be scrubbing through a featureless blur forever. The cuts are what make memory searchable. Every boundary your brain draws is a bookmark, a chapter heading, a place the system can jump back to. And it goes further. In a 2016 study, and again in fresh work from Radvansky's own lab in January 2026, researchers found that the things you meet right at a boundary aren't always remembered worse. Sometimes they're remembered sharper. The better you carve your experience into events, the more of your life you actually keep. So the next time you're stranded in a doorway, mind wiped completely blank, don't sigh and blame your failing memory. That blank is not a breakdown. That blank is the sound of the machine running exactly as designed, drawing a line, closing a chapter, turning the chaos of your day into something you'll be able to find again later. You didn't lose the thought. Your brain simply decided in that half second that one chapter of you had ended and quietly opened the next. You've been editing your whole life into scenes this entire time. You were just never supposed to notice the cuts.